Good morning. Please remain standing for the invocation to be offered by the Reverend Dr. Darcy Williams, Rector of the Emmanuel Church, Chester Parish, here in Chestertown. In her position, Reverend Dr. Williams is the successor to Washington College's founder, William Smith. Then, please remain standing for our national anthem.
In 1782, the Maryland legislature issued a charter for the college here in Chestertown, bearing the name of and in honorable and perpetual memory of General George Washington. As Larry said, my predecessor, who was the 5th rector of Chester Parish, the Reverend Dr. William Smith, became the college's first president. And I, as the 33rd rector of Chester Parish, am honored to be here today with you as we invoke God's presence with us on this very important day. Let us pray. Most Holy One, fountain of all wisdom, we give you thanks for all schools, colleges, and universities, but especially for Washington College. We ask you to bless this school that it may continue to be the lively center for sound learning, new discovery, and the pursuit of wisdom that it has been for 235 years. We give thanks for all those gathered here today, community leaders, representatives of colleges and universities from throughout this country, the Washington College Board of Visitors and Governors, our graduates, our dedicated administrators and staff, and of course our students. We thank you, gracious God, for our rich heritage, for your guidance in the pursuit of true knowledge. We gather in gratitude for this special day as we celebrate the inauguration of Kurt M. Landgraf as the 29th president of this historic institution of higher education. We ask your blessings on him as he leads this college into the future, engaging the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead with the same enthusiasm and vigor with which he has approached everything in his life. May fresh challenges excite his heart and mind and kindle in him the creativity to journey with us beyond any old limitations. May he and his wife Rita feel at home here in Chestertown and find a rhythm where its new draws enrichment from all that has come. Bless us all that we may support the vital work of this college to educate students who are seekers of truth and who, through critical thinking, effective communication, and moral courage, move the world as engaged citizens. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare amongst bursting ash gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. My name is Larry Culp, and I serve as board chair of the college's Board of Visitors and Governors. And on behalf of my colleagues, many of whom are here this morning, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to this important occasion in the college's history. We are so pleased to have one of our former First Ladies here, Debbie Toll. She and our new First Lady, Rita Landgraf, have a lot in common. Accomplished women in their own right and spouses to two of the most genuine and thoughtful men to walk this earth. Debbie, good to see you back in Chestertown. And Rita, welcome to the Washington College family. The inauguration of a new college president is a perfect time to reflect on the great achievements of our past and our hopes for the future. Washington College is proud of its history and its association with the founding of the United States. And because of that history, we have a particular responsibility to its citizens to continue to teach our young, the future leaders of this great nation, to be intelligent risk takers, to be open to future inquiry, to be resilient in the face of adversity, and to be purposeful in an environment of uncertainty. A Washington College education provides the context and the moxie for our graduates to solve the very real challenges of their century. Even as undergraduates, they are thinkers and doers who are not afraid to take on the world. Today, we inaugurate a new president who not only recognizes the enormous value of our liberal arts education, but who is absolutely smitten with Washington College, our student-centric approach that is our hallmark in the Chestertown community. In Kurt Landgraf, we have found someone of determination, of optimism, and good humor, who comes with a clear understanding of the business of higher education and its competitive environment. I believe that this institution will benefit enormously from Kurt's practical vision for navigating this difficult terrain, even as we chart new paths of distinction. So on behalf of the entire Board of Visitors and Governors, I'm happy to pledge our full support for the work that lies ahead. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Provost and Dean of the College, Patrice DeQuinzio. Provost DeQuinzio will introduce each of our distinguished visitors.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you. Thank you. It's my distinct pleasure to welcome and introduce the distinguished speakers who have come from the campus community and beyond to offer their greetings, and I thank them all for joining us on this very happy occasion. First, we are honored to have with us the Honorable Chris M. Sereno, Mayor of Chestertown. Chris is a 25-year resident of Kent County. He holds bachelor's and master's degrees from the University of Virginia. He's the vice president of the Sultana Education Foundation, and he has served as mayor of Chestertown since 2014. The Honorable Chris Sereno.
Every time I hear the honorable, I'm like, oh, who's going to be? And then they're like, I'll come up here, and I'm like, wow, I'm still not used to that. But thank you very much. Is this not an awesome day today, you guys? It's like 80 degrees. There's no humidity. It's always a beautiful time to be on the Eastern Shore, but the fall in Chestertown is truly like a really special time. So I'm going to use a similar format to the last time we did this. I thought I had 55 minutes to talk, and it turns out that was a typo, and they said I have 5 minutes to talk. So I'm scrambling a little bit. So I'm just going to run you through the history of the town using 5 key dates. So if you look back to the founding era of Chestertown, 2 dates stick out above all others. And the first would be, of course, 1706. And it was in that year that under the direction of Parliament, the Maryland General Assembly established 6 royal ports of entry on the Chesapeake Bay, one of which was Chestertown, Maryland. We go back 311 years, which is a rich tradition. And the idea behind this legislation was to encourage the formations of towns and places where ships could stop and load and unload cargo. And it certainly was successful here. And we see the ramifications of that when you walk down the beautiful streets of our historic district, an area that most small towns would die for. The second date that sticks out above all others in our founding heritage, even though I know a lot of cool things happen, you got to go with 1782. And if you're at the college, hopefully you realize that's the date that this institution was founded. And George himself, the man on the $1 bill, the man I see every day when I hand somebody a quarter, he gave 50 guineas to the cause. The first college of its kind established after the American Revolution, it was then the United States, to groom young academics like some of you guys in the back there. for the rigors and the responsibilities of leading a free and democratic nation. I would argue that today is the third date, the inauguration of President Kurt Landgraf. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to have to... Nobody's gotten done more than Kurt. And how long have you been here? Yeah, that's Kurt over here. He's still kind of new. We're at 3 months. We're at the 3-month mark? 4 months. I've been here 25 years. And for that entire time, the college was mulling over what to do about the boathouse. They were looking to raise money. Then they weren't looking to raise money. Should we or shouldn't we? Can we or can't we? Boom times and a great recession. This guy shows up, and 2.5 months later, people with shovels and hard hats are coming out of the woodwork. And on September 13th of 2017, I went to one of the most exciting groundbreakings of my career when the new Hodson Boathouse groundbreaking was established, which is going to fundamentally transform the college's waterfront programs. But that's not all, because 5 days before that, on September 8th, 2017, in 2008, the college had purchased several acres on the waterfront and wondered, what are we going to do? We're going to have this awesome waterfront campus. The Great Recession happened. Shall we? Shan't we? Will we? Won't we? Can we? Can't we? Kurt Landgraf shows up. And on September 8th, I'll be damned if those same guys in hard hats and shovels didn't come out and break ground for the Truman Seamans Environmental Center on the Chester River, which is going to fundamentally transform the environmental science programs here at the college. So Kurt, between me, you, and the fly on the wall, I don't know really how much of a role you played in those projects, but I'll tell you this. In 15 years, when you're retired and talking to your children and grandchildren, and God willing, your great-grandchildren, with each passing year, if I were you, your role should become more and more central in how you pulled all that off before you were even inaugurated. So what the college doesn't know is that right now I'm in secret negotiations to hire President Landgraf away just for 4 months so he can work on Chestertown Marina for the mayor. And that's how we're going to transform our waterfront, ladies and gentlemen. But seriously, I honestly believe those two groundbreakings and the great work that's happening throughout the campus and the new academic building on Washington College, you're going to come here in 3 to 5 years, and it's going to be a different place. It's going to be a win-win for the college and the town. It's going to be great for the students and the faculty, but also for people like me and my kids that, God willing, will still be here in 20 to 30 years. They'll be able to walk down to that waterfront and utilize areas that have basically just not been contributing lots to the town for many years. But I would suggest that there's one more date, ladies and gentlemen, in the future, looming over all of us, November 7th, 2017. That's the date that I, Chris Sereno, against perhaps logic and my better judgment, declared that I will be running for a second term as mayor of Chestertown. So God willing, President Landgraf, on November 8th, it'll be a new day of cooperation between the town and Washington College. But in all seriousness, in the 4 months that President Landgraf has been here, he's been nothing but friendly and outgoing and shown a genuine interest in not just the college, but the town of Chestertown. That's all a mayor can really ask for. So today, Chestertown, on behalf of all of my constituents, I welcome you to the community and the college and look forward to working with you starting, hopefully, November 8th, 2017. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris. It is now my pleasure to introduce my dear colleague, Joseph L. Holt, class of 1983, who will be offering greetings on behalf of the staff of Washington College. And who better to do so? Joe is exemplary of the hard work and dedicated service that all of the staff members at Washington College contribute every day. In his various roles since 1991, Joe has been Vice President for Administration, Executive Vice President, and Chief of Staff. He's worked closely with the college president, the senior staff, and the Board of Visitors and Governors to advance the mission of Washington College. In 2017, Joe not only was awarded the President's Distinguished Award for Service, the award was renamed for him to honor his incredible contributions to Washington College. After filling all of those roles and stepping into some interim roles as well, Joe has recently settled into his new role in our advancement office as Director of Institutional Giving. Joe.
George Washington once said, "Every post is honorable in which a man can serve his country." I think we have a contemporary example of that in our mayor, Chris Sereno. But if I can be permitted to paraphrase our founding patron, I would say every staff position is honorable in which a man or woman serves George Washington's college. President Landgraf, Platform Party members, members of the extended Washington College family, it's my honor to be here to deliver greetings on behalf of the staff of Washington College. The most senior member of our staff is Pat Smith, and I'm not sure if Pat is here today. Pat first came to work for Washington College in 1968 when Dan Gibson was president. Imagine the transformation she's seen in her nearly 50 years of service to this institution. Among our more junior members of staff is Matthew Licata, who is a maintenance technician in our Buildings and Grounds Department. And President Landgraf, he started about the same time you did. We hope that his and your tenure are marked as an era of strengthening and growth. Collectively, as staff, we are 477 strong. And when joined with our faculty colleagues, we can boast more than 5,000 years of service to Washington College. Our job titles are varied. We are housekeepers, gift officers, admissions counselors, mechanics, directors, coaches, administrative assistants, grounds workers, vice presidents, cooks, and patrol officers, to name but a few. Most of us work 8:30 to 4:30 Monday through Friday, but there are many among us who work the overnight shift, maintaining our facilities and keeping our campus safe, or over the weekend to ensure that our students and campus guests are well fed. What we have in common is the honor of working for Washington College by supporting our students as they pursue a superlative liberal arts education in our little part of the world. Our founding patron also once remarked, quote, "The turning points of lives are not the great moments. The real crises are often concealed in occurrences so trivial in appearance that they pass unobserved. Our staff are often the ones on hand during times of great crisis, but also times of real triumph. As our students' families away from home, we support them in their times of trial and triumph. My colleagues are the unsung heroes of Washington College. President Landgraf, as you take up the reins of leadership for this venerable institution, we stand ready to support you in any way we can. To quote George Washington one last time in closing, perseverance and spirit have done wonders in all ages. Our wish to you is great strength of perseverance and an abundant good spirit as you enter this most important age in the history of Washington College."
I'm now very happy to introduce Mr. Arjen Ravenbosch. Arjen is from the class of 1989, and he is chair of the Washington College Alumni Board. Arjen's deep engagement in the life of the college and his incredible support for the college is representative of how many of our alumni are that deeply engaged in the college, and we are so very grateful and appreciative of their support. Arjen is a supervisory records management policy analyst in the Office of the Chief of Records and the National Archives and Records Administration. Arjen.
Thank you, Dean DeQuinzio. Good morning. On such a beautiful morning, it is wonderful to see so much of the Washington College community gathered here on Martha Washington Square. President and Mrs. Landgraf, as chair of the Alumni Board, I offer greetings from my fellow board members and all of the Washington College alumni. I want to reassure you that the Alumni Board and the entire alumni community stand ready to offer strong support to you in your initiatives to take Washington College securely into the future. Like you, we have a strong belief in a liberal arts education. After all, we see it every day in our workplaces. Workplaces that range from offices to laboratories, to classrooms, to factories, and to fields all around the world. Every single alumnus can quickly offer a recollection or a story about how special and transformative this great college truly is. President Landgraf, you are the 8th president here since I came as a wide-eyed first-year student in 1985. But I've observed something different about you. In the few instances we have met, I have noticed you encourage everyone you meet to be honest and direct with you. Moreover, you can take it. Well, well, honestly, I really don't think you have to encourage our alumni to be honest and direct. They will, trust me. Every president of Washington College brings something special to the post. Some have opened doors for the college through the relationships they have cultivated over the years, while others have brought their love and passion for the liberal arts. And each one of them has created their own legacy. To borrow a phrase around campus these days, what will your legacy be? Please know that we on the Alumni Board and the alumni community are eager to help you along the way as you answer that question and work to ensure that this place remains the special place that we all love. The Alumni Board stands ready to assist you by bettering our communications with all of our alumni, increasing our engagement, and increasing participation to help our philanthropic goals. You have our unwavering support in promoting our value proposition to the past, present, and perhaps most importantly, our future alumni. We are all in. Finally, I believe you are someone who loves Washington College as much as we do. In fact, I think I've heard you loved us before we even knew you. And that, I can assure you, is the secret ingredient for our success. President and Mrs. Landgraf, welcome to the Washington College family. Thank you.
As several of our speakers have already mentioned, the real reason we are here is our students, to further their education and their growth and development. So it is a pleasure to introduce Ms. May Quiros, class of 2018, who is president of the Student Government Association of Washington College. May is a true emerging citizen leader. She's a double major in political science and economics from Aurora, Colorado, and she will offer greetings on behalf of the student body.
President Landgraf, Mrs. Landgraf, distinguished guests, faculty, and students, I can't describe how honored I am to represent the student body in this exciting and special tradition. Today, we all bear witness to history in the making. This ceremony marks the beginnings of a bright future for Washington College, one governed by a love of learning, a longing for discovery, and a commitment to pursue our passions. But it's also an opportunity for us to reflect on how far we've come and how we've gotten here. Just a few years ago, I was admitted to Washington College, and that following summer, the college announced it would be naming its first female president, Sheila Bair. The excitement in my father's eyes when he realized I would be embarking on my most formative years with a role model like her was undeniable. On behalf of the student body, thank you, President Sheila Bair, for your leadership. Now, I've got to be honest, I didn't know what to expect with our new president. Sometime in July, I crafted one of my finer emails. Introducing myself, welcoming him to the college, offering any help. Within the hour, I received the following response. In all capital letters, I would love, and then I think your finger slipped because they weren't in capital letters anymore, to meet with you. I knew then and there things were going to be different, and I'd never been more excited. And they are different. Things are different. People are different. One might say they are happier. In fact, happiness is actually contagious. If you have a friend who is happy, you are 25% more likely to be happy yourself. The same goes for good leadership. Happiness and leadership style trickles down through an organization. President Kurt Landgraf, your happiness and your incredible leadership style has already trickled down our college, and you've only just begun. Your ability to embody the spirit of Washington College is an indictment of your dedication to this institution, its students, and our community. On behalf of the student body at Washington College, I'd like to wish you, your family, and your administration the best of luck as you take on the role of the 29th president of Washington College. Now, to give you a proper Washington College welcome, Wacapella will be singing Come Join the Family. Thank you.
Just a few miles from the Chester lies a school small and mighty. Here at WAC we'd love to have you So come join the family. Take a trip on the Calanecties. Get the lead role in a play. Come on out and see a concert. It's all just another day.
You'll hear the victory bell. Grab coffee, read the elm on your way to class. From family in the fall to every birthday ball, time here moves way too fast.
Come on down, check us out on the tour and find out why we all love being the shoremen. You'll learn so much more than just a degree at Washington College, so come join the family. Whoa, oh, oh. Come join the family. Whoa, oh, oh. Come join the family. Whoa, oh, oh. Come join the family. Washington College, come on, join the family.
Professors will get to know you, make it easy for you to meet. 'Cause you're more than just a last name on an attendance sheet. The JFC has got you covered. We'll get you up to pace. So many clubs to join here. We'll help you find your place.
Our sports teams have it all, from crew to volleyball, so come see what we are made of. Get at a restaurant, or come to the waterfront, there's so much for you to love.
Come on down, check us out on the tour and find out why we all love being the shoremen. You'll learn so much more than just a degree at Washington College, so come join the family. Whoa, oh, oh. Come join the family. Whoa, oh, oh. Come join the family. Whoa, oh, oh. Come join the family. Washington College, come on, join the family. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Come on down, check us out on the tour and find out why we all love being the shoremen. You'll learn so much more than just that degree at Washington College, so come join the family. Whoa, oh, oh. Come join the family. Whoa, oh, oh. Come join the family. Whoa, oh, oh. Come join the family. President Landgraf, come on, join the family.
Thank you so much, May, and thank you so much, Wakapella. I have heard many performances of that song, and it always feels new and fresh to me, and I will have it stuck in my head for the rest of the day, and you may too, but it's a wonderful song to have stuck in your head. Thank you all, students. Thank you so much. To deliver greetings from the academic community, we are very fortunate to have with us today President of Wagner College, Dr. Richard Gurashi. Dr. Gurashi holds a Bachelor of Science degree from Fordham University, and he earned an MA in economics and a PhD in political science from Indiana University. He's long been a champion of the liberal arts. He is the 18th president of Wagner College, where he founded the Wagner Plan for the Practical Liberal Arts, a curriculum that integrates the liberal arts and a series of learning communities and experiential learning opportunities. A prolific author, Dr. Gurashi is co-author of the book Democratic Education in the Age of Difference, Redefining Citizenship in Higher Education. Dr. Richard Gurashi.
Thank you.
It is a delight to be with all of you today. Kurt, Rita, congratulations. A wonderful board of visitors, irrepressible mayor, wonderful and gifted faculty and students, alumni, staff. It's a joy to be with all of you today. It's really a distinct honor. So let us celebrate Kurt Landgraf as president of this wonderful college. It's a delight to be part of this campus community today as we highlight Kurt's leadership and the legacy of liberal arts and liberal learning at this historic institution. In an era of profound change and stress throughout higher education, every campus stakeholder is challenged to maintain standards of excellence in learning and teaching, strong support for students and faculty while managing complicated and sometimes severe fiscal realities. We are living through an era of dramatic challenges. In the last 3 decades, we are a witness to a remarkable technological revolution where literally all that has been published, most of what has been filmed and spoken is now available to us outside of our cherished libraries and inside and easily fitting into our pockets. The impact of this innovation on teaching and learning is highly significant. Teachers are challenged in helping learners to be discerning in valuing information, in teaching students the difference between opinion and evidence-based arguments, and in nurturing critical thinking in an age of information explosion. The technological revolution requires a pedagogical cognate, one appropriate for this new age. These changes require intelligence, judgment, patience in founding a new higher education learning and teaching platform. The technological revolution is occurring at the same time of a significant demographic change. Generations long denied access to college are now the fastest growing portions of the American population. Those least able to afford college are the fastest growing portion of college-bound students. In the last 25 years, higher education has made a major commitment to advancing and welcoming these students into our institutions, largely omitted from the punitive public narrative about contemporary higher education. Colleges and universities have dramatically increased their resource commitment to access and diversity. In an age of heightened social inequality, disappointing urban high school graduation rates, a resurgent racialized political environment, colleges and universities have served as a beachhead for continuing opportunity and progress. College presidents face acute pressures to keep our campuses accessible and affordable, challenged by a seeming army of escalating operating expenses from ever-increasing costs of healthcare to technological innovations, deferred maintenance, regulatory burdens, the priority for appropriate and competitive faculty and staff support and compensation, and most pressing, the mounting demand for greater institutional scholarship to meet the financial needs of students and their families. College presidents find themselves in a constant drama of balancing resources against institutional priorities every day on the job. As if that were not sufficient reasons for underlying the need for intelligent, courageous, and resilient leadership leading our universities and colleges, we're also living through an era when the fundamental foundation of American higher education, the liberal arts and liberal education, is itself under severe attack as inadequate and irrelevant. Always the envy of the world as the gold standard of university learning, liberal education must affirm the value proposition of this particular American form of learning and teaching. Once understood as the educational bedrock of a free society, liberal education is cast by its critics as obsolete. College presidents must shape a narrative for trustees and faculty and staff that translates the value of liberal arts and liberal education into a clear and compelling portfolio of knowledge, skills, and habits of the mind that lead our graduates in their development as independent thinkers, persuasive communicators, capable and innovative problem solvers, ethical colleagues, and civic-minded citizens. To confront the skeptical press and distanced public, college presidents must find the appropriate vocabulary and grammar that demonstrate the necessity of liberal education for America's economic advancement, its social cohesion, and civic prosperity. College presidents also are faced with another major priority, and this is a historic moment of severe social, political, and ethnic divisiveness in the United States and in many other nations. the resurgence of virulent anti-Semitism, racism, ethnic nationalism, gender subordination are growing and ripping apart the social stability of democratic societies, coupled with a huge void in the basic knowledge of civics, the protocols and laws of democratic governance, and our own political, social, and cultural genealogies. The burden on higher learning to engage these dysfunctions is very real and urgent. Colleges and universities cannot walk away from one keystone of our founding mission, and that is to educate and prepare informed and engaged citizens for a fair, open, and inclusive democracy. Attending to the civic education of our students and partnering with our local neighborhoods is an essential element of university leadership. Given all of these changes and challenges, I can think of no other time in my 40 years in higher education when our colleges and universities have needed not just strong and good leaders, but the requisite for truly transformative leadership in the office of the president. You have chosen a person for your president who demonstrates the qualities needed in confronting the outsized challenges of higher education. You are familiar with his biography, his outstanding command of economic realities and fiscal challenges at DuPont, and for his many years as a leader in the corporate world, as well as his remarkable work with the Educational Testing Service, where he guided their mission in making accountability and measurement an agent of both improved learning and college access. You know of his commitment to quality education, social equity, and critical outreach evidenced by his advocacy for historically black colleges, Hispanic serving institutions, and Native American education. You know of his leadership engagement with the American Council of Education, the American Association of Community College, and the New Jersey Commission on Higher Education. All of these are essential elements of Kurt's commitment to higher learning. But I have known and worked with Kurt for close to 20 years. I have deep respect for him. It is based on his honesty, his directness, his openness, and his insistence on excellence in all things. He faces problems directly. He has no fear of engaging difficult and nuanced problems. He will ask for thoughtful and well-informed ideas from his colleagues on the faculty and within the administration and, of course, the Board of Visitors. He will be very keen to engage the larger community of alums and friends and neighbors of Washington College and Chestertown. He will listen hard to students, and he'll be open to their families. Kurt has the temperament for the fiscal, educational, social challenges confronting the vexing problems I've enumerated. He's up to the task. He relishes the encounter and will celebrate the solutions that this college community will design with him in overcoming them. Together, all of you with Kurt have an opportunity to advance this wonderful place and lead it into a new age. Share your progress with the rest of us in higher education. Become the agent of positive change here in Chestertown and within the national arena of undergraduate education. We need your voice, and with Kurt at the helm, I'm sure your past, your present, and your future will be a force for progress. Congratulations to Kurt and Rita and to all of you for making such a wonderful selection.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you for those very inspiring words. We are facing challenging times, and we are ready to meet those challenges. Representing the Washington College faculty, who are the heart and soul of Washington College, is Dr. James Allen Hall, Associate Professor of English and Director of the Rose O'Neill Literary House. A prolific and talented writer, James holds an undergraduate degree in English literature from Stetson University, an MFA in poetry from Bennington College, and a PhD in creative writing and literature from the University of Houston. In 2017, James was awarded the college's Distinguished Teaching Award, and I'm very happy to welcome him. There.
Hey everybody. Among my degrees, you can see there was not one for gymnastics. And I want to say welcome to President Landgraf and Professor Landgraf. Thank you so much for being here and being here. You know, and to my colleagues, I hope I do you proud. I did ask for earplugs to be passed around for the next 5 minutes, but I guess we didn't have them. It's weird to write an occasional poem, but I hope I will do you proud. And I just want to say thank you to President Landgraf for making a space for faculty up here, and also for poetry. That's unusual. For inspiration, I went back to William Smith's letters to George Washington, and I found this quote. Smith was writing to Washington to let Washington know of his desire to name the college after him. And he ends the letter, "In every possible way, your country wishes to erect public monuments to you, even while living, with a view of instructing and animating the youth of many future generations to admire and to imitate these public virtues and patriot labors, which have created a private monument for you in the heart of every good citizen." That was William Smith writing in July of 1782 to General George Washington. This is called A Monument for This Morning. What does a monument in the heart even look like? Who tends its chambers? Is it hard to visit an edifice secreted away in the body, light incense, quiet yourself down to the smoke and smolder of your cells, rebuild what love has etched into memory there? And how does it stay alive past the unstable medium of flesh? I am an American. I've been thinking about monuments these days, the ones we are taking down, the earth we are turning back to history. Why not build a shrine to the idea we can try again? A college, too, is a living monument where every day we ask to be transformed, made more human, so that we are less afraid to meet the unknowable, to say the unsayable. We are made, columns and steps inside of us, out of the rubble stone of what we witness, and we are best when taken down sometimes to our elements, to sediment and soot, rebuilt here every day. How can I say what monument this day will become? It's only half built, which means it's only half taken down, half analyzed. I can only ask you to leave the steel of your hope here on Martha Washington's square, among the marble and green grass, among the leaves starting to turn and fall. Nothing stays itself very long. It joins rejoinder. It runs ahead and traces back. It asks, what are you made of? What use are you? This is how a history is born. We cut its marble, we shoulder it together. Thank you.
Thank you, James. One of the great joys of serving as board chair the last several years has been the opportunity to meet many of our new faculty members and work closely with both those and old friends. And I think we all owe our faculty colleagues another round of applause for all that you do for Washington College. Therese, thank you. Guests, thank you for traveling great distances and for being here today. We are grateful for your efforts. and more importantly, your contributions on our behalf. President Landgraf, it's time. Kurt, would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I, Kurt M. Landgraf, solemnly swear
I, Kurt M. Landgraf, solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the state of Maryland,
I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the state of Maryland,
that I will be true and loyal to the interests of Washington College,
I will be true and loyal to the interests of Washington College,
and that I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
and I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully discharge the duties of the President thereof,
I will diligently and faithfully discharge the duties of the President thereof.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Now for the investiture. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the now officially installed 29th President of Washington College, Kurt M. Landgraf.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. So, thank you very much. I really appreciate you all coming. Oh, actually, I think there's probably a few people in the audience who wish that was my commencement, my invocation speech, but it's not. And I'm going to tell you why it's not. I have been extraordinarily fortunate in my life, and it's because of my education at Wagner College as a liberal arts major, and a single professor who literally, not figuratively, changed my life. And I've written about this, and while I'm talking to all 450 of our faculty and staff, I'm specifically want to talk to the faculty. Because sometimes I think the faculty of these institutions do not understand that you literally, not figuratively, hold the future of America in your hands. Because the students we educate here are the future. The students we educate here are going to be making decisions which will affect all of us, our children, our grandchildren, and this country for literally centuries to come. The role of those of you who instruct our students is much more serious and much more important than sometimes I think you realize on a day-to-day basis. So when I thought about what I would say to you, I'm going to share with you why I believe that. So this is a truly fantastic day for me. Unbelievable. Right? I don't even know what to say. Thank you to the faculty. Thank you to the staff. Thank you to the students, parents, alumni, members of the Board of Visitors and Governors, the delegates who are here, and friends of the college who obviously care so much about this historic institution that they have chosen to honor a person from very humble beginnings, who understands how powerful liberal arts education actually is. Washington College is one of the finest representations of what liberal arts education can be and can achieve in our great country. You know, there are a lot of naysayers who think liberal arts education is simply not worth the investment. Humanities majors are somewhat less valuable than engineering and chemistry students. Now, don't get me wrong. I was a big proponent of STEM education. I was a former executive of the DuPont company. I appreciate how scientific advances have helped to promote a healthier planet and identify sustainable energy sources. But I also know that the best scientists, the best businessmen, and the best policymakers are grounded in liberal arts education. And the reason is that they have a sense of history, philosophy, and international affairs. They know how to approach problems critically as well as analytically. And they know how to communicate effectively. And fundamentally, they learn the difference between right and wrong. And faculty, you teach them how to do that. Of all my academic training, the most important coursework, which I had at Wagner College, was liberal arts, gave me a strong foundation in philosophy, religion, sociology, history, and political science. Disciplines that help me understand the intrinsic human value of people and understand how all people are connected. For me, attending a liberal arts college, Wagner College, not only changed my life, but set me on a career path that led me to a position as the second highest level executive at the DuPont company. I've been chairman of a pharmaceutical company and head of the world's largest educational testing firm. Normally at this point, the students boo, so that was, but I want to be transparent about this. Okay? All of that would never have happened if I didn't experience one liberal arts college professor named Professor William Marr. I've written about him extensively. He took an interest in me. He decided I was capable of so much more than I could see myself. And that scenario happens every day at Washington College. Without that first encounter with someone who believed in me, my life would have been very different. And frankly, I think the lives of a lot of other people would have been changed. I've had the pleasure to work with many of you over the last several decades, and frankly, I honestly need to tell you as educators, I don't truly believe that you understand the enormity of the responsibility that you all hold, whether you're on the board, whether you're on the faculty, whether you're on the staff. So let me just say it again. You are the future of America, and we're going to do it right. Washington College and institutions like ours are the game changers in our world. We have a very important role. So I want to focus my remarks this morning specifically on that role and talk about what I see as the three pillars of our society. They are capitalism, democracy, and the rule of law. The first of these, capitalism. That is the system that derives our country's economic growth. Sometimes people don't like to think of it that way. But Karl Marx was right. Capitalism is wealth held by individuals and corporations used to generate more wealth. Capitalism is built on the return to those who have resources to invest. Those who have money can acquire more money. And frankly, left unchecked, can do with it what they want. As Marx suggested, capitalism can also drive social and financial inequities. A trend we certainly see in this country today. As the gap between rich and poor widens, middle class is shrinking. The top 10% of Americans took home a record share of income, more than 50% in 2012. Earlier this month, a new census data indicated that median income of American households still remains below the 1999 level. And now, while we're beginning to climb out of this recession, income inequality continues to worsen. In 2016, incomes among the wealthiest 5% climbed 5.5% to $375,000. Average income for the poorest one-fifth rose only 2.5% to $12,900. So why are liberal arts colleges so critical in preserving this pillar of capitalism? Sounds like I don't like it. Well, it is critical to our economic growth, but we need to prepare citizens who understand what capitalism in fact does, prepares them to deal with the repercussions of these phenomenal disparities amongst our population. The moral compass that we teach here, that we create here for our students, is more important now, I would suggest to you, than ever in my lifetime. A nation's moral character is evident in how we care for the hungry, the poor, the homeless, the elderly, and whether we open our hearts to those people in need. Economic inequality also illuminates the challenges our American educational system faces. A U.S. student's academic achievement lags behind many other countries in the industrial world. Quite frankly, pathetically so. In 2015, Pew Research Center said only 29% of Americans rated their country's K-12 education in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics as above average. Mediocre learners earn mediocre wages. The hard truth is that the United States is not among the top performing nations in subjects tested by the PISA program, which measures student readiness in mathematics and science literacy. Without an appropriate moral compass, there would be some who would abuse this system for their own personal gain. We've seen it before on Wall Street. We've watched greed and selfishness get in the way of personal and social responsibility. Now, happily, we've also seen the flip side. Great titans of industry are also great philanthropists, directing their self-made millions toward the public good, to build hospitals and schools, support environmental causes, and come to the aid of those in need. This, ladies and gentlemen, is capitalism at its best, but only capitalism with a moral compass. A fundamental element of liberal arts education at this college is the very real emphasis on creating a strong moral compass. And folks, I've only been here 4 months, but I'm going to tell you, I've met many of the people here. That is not just words in some meaningless charter at this college. I am telling you, the people who are here believe it, and their daily actions reflect it. The second pillar of America is democracy. It's a system of government in which power is vested with the people. This institution is rooted in the very idea founded as the Revolutionary War came to an end. Washington College was established for the singular purpose of educating responsible citizens who could lead our country in this new democracy. De Tocqueville called the birth of modern democracy in America the great experiment in which we can construct a society with new foundations. A successful democracy would allow people to speak their minds, shape their own and their children's futures. Our founding fathers assumed that people would take a thoughtful, educated approach to shaping a society that protected individual rights and enjoyed the benefits of functioning government. When a society relinquishes its ability to generate an educated, informed electorate, when people lose confidence in the government, democracy will go off the rails. This popular cynicism about populist politics robs democracy of its very legitimacy. So, what role do we play in bolstering democratic systems? First and foremost is our responsibility to impart the lessons of history and political science, to give our students fundamental training in core democratic values and constitutional principles. But most of all, we must help our students think in a way that allows them to choose right from wrong based upon real fact, not just emotion and fear. The lessons they learn here are lessons they will carry through their entire life. Now, whether our undergraduates go on to hold public office, or whether they go about building lives of purpose in other ways, without a liberal arts and science education as our foundation, we will make decisions based upon narrow, partisan criteria rather than work toward a common good. And finally, the third pillar of our society is the rule of law. We're a nation of laws that's supposed to apply to everyone. With that expectation, Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy has suggested that the phrase has taken special meaning for the people of the United States. Based on our history and looking to the law to fulfill the promise of freedom, justice, and equality to set forth our nation's founding documents. For those who serve to protect the law, police officers, attorneys, judges, juries, and yes, even business leaders, having a moral compass is not just incidental, it is imperative. Every student here, every member of the faculty, every member of the past faculty, every member of the staff, everyone associated with this college has a critical responsibility to maintain the sustainability of this institution so that we can ensure that this country will get a moral compass and travel the high road for every citizen of our country. So I've told the story a couple of times, well, actually more than you want to hear it, but I'm going to tell you again. The moment I decided I wanted to be president here is when I interviewed for the job and I asked a student, tell me the single thing that you learned at Washington College. And I got to tell you, having kids of my own, I thought they were going to tell me where the nearest beer place was and, you know, how fun it was to go to fraternity. I mean, you know what he said to me? I'll never forget it. I will never forget it for the rest of my life. He said, I learned from the faculty the concept of moral courage. Larry, it was that moment when I wanted to be here. Because I knew this young man didn't know how to be disingenuous. He was telling me what he learned here. We teach our students to respect others, to speak kindly, to be honest and trustworthy, and to give back. We also encourage them to speak up when things are not good, even if it's at risk. We ask them to make difficult decisions. Let me just talk to you about a couple that I learned because of my time at Wagner College. So I was managing director of medical products in DuPont, in Europe. I was Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And after several visits to South Africa, this is a long time ago. I know I don't look that old, but I was a long time ago. I was disgusted by apartheid. I'm going to repeat it to you. I was disgusted by apartheid. I chose to pull DuPont out of South Africa, not because of graduate work, but because of my liberal arts education. I knew it was wrong. Later in my career, I was a chief operating officer at the DuPont company. And we had a product that was toxic. So while this may seem to be, to you, as a no-brainer decision, in the corporate world it isn't. I chose to withdraw that product from the market. Not because of anything I learned in my graduate education or my career, but because I remembered the moral compass that said, above all, do what is right, not what is convenient. The U.S. Constitution was first framed on the cultivation of virtues associated with personal and social responsibility. Washington College represents those values in an unbelievable, meaningful, everyday way, and our students graduate with an understanding of the difference between right and wrong that will benefit you, our country, and this entire world for generations to come. My moral compass tells me we are what we do. We should give part of our time to society. I've spent my life trying to give back because I feel so lucky. I'm amazed here at this college, folks, how our young students recognize their personal responsibility to take care of people around them in Chestertown and elsewhere. I love this place. Let me say it again. Look at me. I love this place. So, to say that I'm grateful to be here, I mean it, Larry. To say I'm grateful to be here is the vast understatement of my life. I am excited every day. I'm excited to talk with all of you. I'm excited to be around students. I love this place. I promise you this, I will give you my heart and my soul. I will do everything that I can to make sure that the values of this school, that the faculty of this school, and the alumni of this school, and the Board of Visitors and Governors of this school know that this place will be sustainable for generations to come, because I want to conclude by telling you, I love this place. Thank you.
By the gleaming blue Chester River, on the Maryland eastern shore, stands a glorious alma mater, whose name we will ever adore. 'Tis a name that shone high in glory, when our country her freedom won, and our college alone was the first one to own to the fair name of Washington. So Washington, old Washington, our Washington we do adore. We will fight for her honor, as her sons and daughters have before. So Washington, old Washington, our Washington forevermore. She's our dear alma mater on the old eastern shore.
Please stand for the benediction. Most gracious God, whom many people know by many different names, we now ask for your almighty hand to be on Kurt Landgraf and all here today as we continue the celebration of this important milestone. You have instilled in him leadership skills and a thirst for knowledge and truth that has led him here to this day. Continue to bless him in the days ahead as he works with the Washington College administration, faculty, staff, students, and Board of Visitors and Governors to lead this college to new and greater heights as a leader in higher education. Bless this college and all associated with it from this day on with goodness and success as they meet the challenges and engage the opportunities ahead. Enable them to stay true to their dreams, to discern what is right, good, and just, and to use their gifts wisely. Empower them to walk into the future guided by your Spirit, so that they may use their talents to go forth and make a difference in this world with their enthusiasm, imagination, and skill. President Landgraf and all the members of the Washington College community, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace from this day forward and forevermore. Amen.